Good morning, students. The topic that we'll be doing in today's video is JDBC connectivity. Now, what is JDBC? JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. It is nothing but a Java API. JDBC is nothing but a Java API to connect and execute the query within the database. It, in simple terms, it means it makes your program to communicate with the database, and the program will execute the database query and will find out the results. Basically, you want to do the SQL operations, SQL queries through a Java program. So you make use of a JDBC API. Now the JDBC API uses JDBC drivers to connect with the database. So we have seen different types of drivers, type 1, 2, 3, 4. Some are purely written in Java, some are combination of native languages and the Java, and some are proprietary. It depends upon the type of database which we are using. Now, as I'm using a Windows machine, I'll be using a Microsoft Access database. Inside a Microsoft Office, we have a Microsoft Access, which is a form of a database where you can store the tables, create your tables, store the data into that tables. So for that, we'll be using a ODBC, which is a type 1 proprietary type of driver. So JDBC ODBC driver, which will be used for this type of database. So one thing which you need to be very clear is, based on the database which you are using, you have to choose the driver, and accordingly you have to make use of that driver into your program. So quickly we'll see how to write a program which makes use of JDBC drivers and the SQL statements. Also, we will have a quick look at how to create a database into a Microsoft Access. And when you are using a proprietary database like Microsoft Access, you need to create a DSN, which will verify the connection with the database, and then your program can execute the queries with that database. So we'll see how to create a database and how to create the DSN, and then we'll quickly come back to the program and then run it. So here is the screen which shows Microsoft Access 2010 interface. So when you try to open a Microsoft Access 2010 on your PC, this is the first screen which you will get. So from this screen, you are supposed to create the blank database first. So I have by default selected blank database. Here is the name of the database. We can change it, and the folder which is just there is some folder kind of an icon. By clicking on this, I can set the path where this database will be stored. So I'll quickly click on this. It will open a file storage type of a window. Now here I'll select my database to be in E drive, and I'll give the database name as a, for example, product DB. And in some cases we save with a different types of formats, like sometimes we save as a 2000 format, 2003 format, 2007 format. So I'm not sure, like my machine makes use of 64-bit, but still we'll see which one will save with a 2007 database only. So I'll given the name as a product DB and saved as a 2007 database. I'll click OK. I've saved it in a E drive. Now I'll click on create. Once we click on create, one blank table will open. Here at the left you can see a table 1. I have not given the name as table 1. By default it is named as a table 1. And here are the fields, means the columns which are available. One is the ID column, which is a, like you can say, auto primary key kind of thing. And whatever columns I need to add, I'll just simply type here. So I'll simply type name, and then I'll type price. Okay, and I don't want this column, so I'll click and remove this field, delete field. Okay, I'm removing a primary key. Okay, not an issue for me. It is not allowing me to delete. Okay, fine, not an issue. So I'll click close this. There is a small cross icon. Do you want to save the changes? Yes, I want to save the changes. So, wow, how many columns I have added? I have added 2 columns, the name and the price. Once I click yes, I'll be able to rename the table, which was by default named as table 1. Now I'll rename this as a products. Products S. I have given S. Okay. I click OK. Now the table is created, which means table is created means the columns are specified, but the data is not yet entered. In order to insert the default data into the table, I'll double click on this table's products. So it opens up. Now name, I'll write the name as suppose TV. The price range can be 25,000. Okay. Then I am naming the product as PC. The PC is around 39,000. Then I'll add another item which is mobile with the price as 16,000. So these are the some entries, some records which I have inserted into the table products. So again I'll cross this and we'll check whether the data is entered or not. I'll again open it. Yes, the data is there. There are 3 rows: TV, PC and mobile with their prices. Now what we'll do, I'll close this Microsoft Access. Okay. Now I have created a database in MS Access. So before jumping to the program, we are supposed to select the driver. We need the driver which we'll be using is a ODBC driver. So we need to set up a DSN, data source name, by going to control panel. So here is the control panel. When you open the control panel into a Windows 10 machine, you get it by category. So what you are supposed to do, you have to go to view by and select large icons. So you will get this type of window with the different icons. From these icons, we are supposed to select the first item which is available, administrative tools. We'll click on this. Once we click on administrative tools, we get ODBC data sources. So there are 2 data sources, ODBC data source 32-bit and a 64-bit. Now, as I am using Windows 10 and all these softwares which are installed are 64-bit, so I'll go to 64-bit this thing. If the system uses 32-bit, you can choose 32-bit interface. Okay. Now once this window is opened, we are supposed to create a new DSN, new user DSN. DSN, the full form is data source name. What we are doing, we are telling the ODBC driver to link to a database which we have created. So I'll click on this add button. No, it is not allowing me to create a new DSN into a 64-bit. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go to 32-bit. I'll click on add. Yes, it is allowing me to create a new DSN. Rather, it should actually allow me to create a DSN in 64-bit. I don't know, there are some mismatch. What database name we have set? MDB or ACCDB? AccessDB. ACCDB means AccessDB or MDB. So I'll choose this driver, Microsoft Access driver. Either it can be MDB format or ACCDB format. Generally Windows 7 or Office 7 and above saves with a format of ACCDB. So I'll choose this, finish. Now I need to give some proper name to my DSN. So say test 1 is the name I have given. Now I want I have selected the driver, but I have not yet selected the database. So in order to select the database, here is a button called select. I'll click this. Where I am supposed to go? I am supposed to go to E drive. So from this drives option, I'll select E. So as you can see on the left hand side, you get a product db.accdb. So this was the database which we have created. So I'll select it. I'll click OK. So now can you see this? Test 1 32-bit Microsoft Access DB. But actually I wanted to have 64-bit. Let's see whether this works or not. So this is how you create a data source name. Okay. I'll click OK. Now we'll go back to our program and understand how to use this DSN. As you can see, this is a database program. So the first and the foremost thing in this program is a package, which is SQL package. Though we are not using SQL database, but the query which we are using are SQL queries. So import java.sql.star. The class name here is a products. This is again an application, not an applet. So public static void main. Within that there is a try block. Why there is need of try block? Because when you are establishing a connection with a database, there are chances that your driver may be wrong, or the connection which you have established may be not matching with a 32-bit for 64-bit concept. There can be n number of reasons, the n number of problems which can occur at runtime. So to handle those, there is a try block. So when establishing a connection with a database, there are certain steps which we need to follow. The first step is always to go for the selection of driver. So class dot for name. This is the method which we'll be using in order to specify which driver will be used in our program. So the driver which are using are JDBC ODBC driver. So sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver. This is the step 1 to select the driver. Class dot for name. Now the second step is to establish a connection with the DSN which we have created. So connection con equal to driver manager dot get connection. How you'll specify a DSN? By writing JDBC colon ODBC colon test2. Now what name I have given? I have given the name as test1. So I'll make it test1. So JDBC ODBC test1. So second step, connection is established with the database. In the first step, driver was selected. In the second step, connection was established. Now the third step is to create a statement. So statement, the object is statement equal to con.create statement. Now which query we want to execute? I want all the products which are available in the table. I want to print those products with the name and the price. So statement, as this is a select statement, we'll make use of execute query method. So statement dot execute query. So select name price from product. Okay. So this is a normal SQL statement. And whatever data will be returned from this query will be stored in a result set RS. Now I'll make use of methods of result set rs dot next. Till the last record is there, I want to print all the records. So while rs dot next, how many fields we want to retrieve? We want to retrieve only 2 fields because the table has only 2 fields, name and price. So string name, float price, rs dot get string name, and rs dot get float, not float because I have made the price also as string. So I'll write get string price. While creating the database, I have not selected as a number, and I'm printing the name and the price. Once this is printed, all the records are printed, I am supposed to close the statement and close the connection. This is mandatory part in order to, and then tries over, catch in if there is any error while establishing a connection or while executing a query, it will throw that exception and will print it. So quickly we'll compile the program. It is successfully compiled. We'll run it. At runtime, there is an exception due to architectural mismap. This is because